Hey, it's Holly here. Today I want to share 7 key strategies that are absolutely fundamental to be successful in your business. Now let's face it, most of us want to be successful in our businesses. So whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur who's looking to finally get those big crazy dreams off the back burner and launch your first business, or whether you're a more established entrepreneur and you've hit a bit of a plateau and you're starting to consider what does that next level of success look like for you, whether that's income or visibility or even flexibility. These strategies are going to help you. Now, if this is the first time that we've met, firstly, I am thrilled to connect with you. My name is Holly McHugh, and I'm a success coach for passion-driven women looking to rewrite the rules for their success. I do this by helping my clients create a business by design that gives them the freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment that they desire and on their terms. I use my 10 years of experience as a marketing strategist, working on multi-million-dollar brand portfolios for some of the world's largest organizations, to help my clients know how to create a magnetic brand that attracts their dream clients and positions them with authority to influence with impact amongst their audience. These 7 strategies have been absolutely essential to me achieving the success that I've had in my business to date. In 3 years that I've been in business, I have doubled my income every single year, and I now enjoy a 6-figure business in a part-time capacity. And it would not have been possible if I hadn't had these things in place. So I want to share these with you today to save you a lot of time and effort and heartache by figuring these out for yourself. So strategy number 1 is you have to absolutely learn the art of deprioritizing. Now that might sound a little bit unexpected because you're probably very used to being told how to prioritize. But when we start a business, especially at the very beginning, when it can be a very overwhelming time, and if we're running a business around other priorities such as a family or a 9-to-5, then it's very easy to become quite overwhelmed with all the things that there are that we need to pay attention to and we need to focus on. And the mistake I see time and time again is that people just add things to their plate and they don't consider where is that time and energy actually going to come from. We're very, very good at adding more to our to-do lists and giving ourselves more things to aim for and more things to do. But we have to be just as intentional and just as conscious of what are we going to deprioritize in order to create that time and space that we need. So something somewhere in your life and work is going to have to take a backseat, especially during a period where it's really needing to ramp things up for you. So right at the start of launching a business, there are a lot of things that have to be in place, and it's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of energy. Equally, if you're launching a new product or a new service or opening up a new program, again, you're going to have to learn how to deprioritize some other things in your life and your wider work, things that right now can afford to wait. And this is a really important discipline if you want to ensure that you're creating a business that's sustainable over the longer term, because we can't sacrifice our self-care and our well-being in order to just do more. Trust me, I've been there, burnt out, and got the t-shirt. It doesn't work. We need to be putting ourselves first in that sense, and that's a whole other topic for another video. But the key point I'm making here is that if you're adding things to the list, and these are things that are really important to you to achieve and great goals for your business, then you need to be prepared for something else to take a backseat. And we can't, especially if you're actually creating your business around another job, and it's at the moment it's a bit of a side hustle while you test and learn what works, which is totally valid. We can't do that within the same amount of hours that we're currently spending on everything else. There's only so much time in the day and in the week. There's only so much energy that we have to give to anything. So it may mean that you're going to have to spend some of your evenings or some of your weekends to do this work. It may mean that you can't accept every single social invitation. It may mean that you can't be superwoman in every other area of your life. So it's really about not just deprioritizing, but actually also reaching out and getting the support you need to create that time and space. Who else could take some of the load off for you to enable you to have this focus and what else in your big list of priorities and goals may have to wait a few weeks or even a few months while you get this up and running. So knowing how to deprioritize, absolutely essential. Number 2, as an entrepreneur, you have to be prepared to take some risks. You don't know what is going to work until you do it. And that's just fact. And it's really unfortunate because we would all love to have that crystal ball where we can guarantee in advance what's going to work and what isn't going to work before we bother putting in our precious time and energy. And as someone who's particularly risk averse myself, I totally get that. You know, I've wanted to have all of my ducks in a row. I've wanted to have every guarantee of success before I have invested too much of myself in things in the past. But the brutal reality is you won't know until you do it. Now, you have your own sense of judgment with regards to what risks are worth taking for you. And obviously they have to be calculated risks, especially if it comes to a financial decision. And please do seek the relevant expert support and guidance in that area where needed. But really it just comes down to recognizing that you're going to have to test and learn as you go, because the way in which we grow and evolve in our businesses is through trial and error and through experience. And some things are going to work and some things are not going to work. But the key is to make sure that you're always looking for the insight and the lesson along the way, because the sooner we know what doesn't work, the sooner we know what does. And actually that's a hugely valuable step forwards for us. It actually fast tracks our success. And we need to be prepared to get a few things wrong along the way and take some of those risks of perhaps falling flat on our face here and there, knowing that all of it is actually moving us forwards. So be prepared to take some risks is strategy number 2. Number 3, work on yourself. Constantly, continuously, it's a daily practice. The entrepreneurial journey is, quite frankly, more like a roller coaster ride. And there are going to be multiple ups and downs, regardless of where you are on the journey. And it's easy to look around and see some of those around us who are perhaps more advanced or further ahead and think to ourselves, oh, it's so easy for them. They just know what to do. But if any entrepreneur is still wanting to grow and evolve and get into their next chapter and do something new and different in their business, which every successful entrepreneur will be wanting to do, then they too are still stretching and growing. And every time we stretch and grow outside of our comfort zone, those fears and self-doubts are going to come to the surface. And quite frankly, the entrepreneurial roller coaster and journey is going to bring up every single fear and doubt that you could possibly imagine, because it's really putting yourself out there in a way that you never have before, especially if you're a service-based entrepreneur and you're selling ultimately yourself. It can be very daunting. It can be very overwhelming. And we have to deal with becoming more visible. We have to deal with opening ourselves up to criticism. And we have to deal with putting our best work out into the world, not knowing if it's going to land with impact in the way that we want it to. So it's absolutely essential to be working on yourself and working on your mindset constantly, because that's always going to be a work in progress, as I said, if you're growing and evolving. Now, having a positive mindset is a solid foundation to everything, an essential one as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean that you're just never going to feel fear again. Everyone feels fear. It's just how we're wired as human beings. But the key difference is that if you have worked on yourself, if you know yourself inside out, if you know your triggers, if you know where the familiar niggles and doubts come from, then having a solid mindset practice is going to give you constructive responses to those fears and doubts. You're going to actually have techniques to know how to respond in times of uncertainty and in times of discomfort. And that's the key, because when you know how to do that, you can navigate through those fears and you can still take action regardless and in spite of them. And that is the key thing that differentiates successful people, people who give up. And unfortunately, all too many entrepreneurs who started on this quest and on this journey of entrepreneurship, with big dreams of building this business and their empire, give up at the first hurdle, or at what feels like a particularly difficult hurdle, because they don't have this mindset in place to support them through it. Now, there are so many different ways that you can build a positive mindset. Firstly, reading personal development books can be a great resource. Meditation, journaling, manifestation, visualization. I teach a huge number of different techniques with my clients. And of course, having the help of a coach who's experienced in helping you overcome those really pesky, limiting beliefs and finding new ways to deal with them, so that you're not feeling at a roadblock. You actually have a way forwards. So I cannot stress enough needing to invest in yourself, because this experience of running a business is going to teach you more about yourself than probably any other experience in life, to be frank. So that's strategy number 3. Strategy number 4 is not only to invest in yourself from a professional perspective, but invest in your business. We don't know it all. You may think you do, and you probably do know a lot. You're the expert of your area. That's what's led you to create your business. And you have multiple skills and talents, and likely a lot of transferable skills and talents from all of the work you've done in the past in various different roles. But none of us know it all. And we can stay stuck with the pressure of feeling that we should know it all, and be stubborn that, I'm just going to sort it out, it can't be that hard. And we can waste so much of our precious time and energy not knowing how to move forwards in a particular area. Now, for me, in the past, I've got so stuck over technical stuff because I'm not a technical person. I never have been. My strengths lie elsewhere. And in the past, I've just kind of got really frustrated and wanted to throw my laptop out the window, or given up, or just postponed something for ages. When in hindsight, I just needed to reach out and get the support from someone who knew better than me. And the beauty of the online space is it's never been easier to reach out for help and support. And there are other people who are further ahead than you. And that might be a few steps, that might be multiple steps. But regardless, they can show you a better and easier way. They can help you make some shortcuts. They can inspire and empower you to overcome what feels like an insurmountable obstacle and help you break that down. And every business owner needs some external input from someone else, because we are all stuck in our own heads. And it's impossible to get fresh perspective and fresh thinking if it's only our eyes on our business. It's actually just not the best for our business, for us, or for our clients. Because ultimately, every single entrepreneur who's the leader and CEO of their own business should be consistently wanting to improve themselves and their services to deliver the best possible experience for their clients. That's ultimately what it's all about. So personally, as a coach, I certainly couldn't walk my walk and practice what I preach if I didn't also invest in myself and in coaching. So I hired my first business coach back in January 2015, and I have never been without one since, because I recognized to get to that next level of growth, I want to learn from those who are already there. And it's the fastest way to basically achieve those goals. And it's also that sense of accountability. Unless you're incredibly self-disciplined, it's going to be easy to make excuses as to why you're not focusing on certain things in your business from time to time, because it's always more comfortable not to do the thing that feels like a stretch or feels scary. And that's where a coach can really support you to have that accountability, to keep you on track, and to cut through all of the clutter and the swirl of the ideas that are going through your head and actually help you get them down and map them out into a focused way forwards. If we don't have clarity, we literally do stay stuck. And that's where we need that objective viewpoint from someone else to guide us through. So personally, I have a business coach. I'm in a mastermind. I have a mentor because I want to continually improve my coaching skills. I have a personal trainer because I want to keep my energy levels in check. And all of that's really coming down to the fact that I want my business to be the best it can be. I want to be the best I can be. And I want my clients to be as happiest as they can be. Now, you also need to consider how can you expect your clients to invest in you if you're not willing to invest in yourself and in your business? And that's especially important if you're service-based. So it really does help to build your authority, build your brand, build your reputation, build your skill set. And it's just going to really make things so much easier and more streamlined for you as well. So stop wasting time. If you've been going over the same thing over and over for some time now, and you're just not making any progress, it's probably time to reach out and get that support. That leads me on to my next strategy, strategy number 5, which is also knowing when to outsource and delegate. As the leader of your business, you shouldn't be doing absolutely everything, with the exception maybe of right at the very beginning stages when you're just getting going. It probably is a little bit more normal that you are across everything and figuring it all out still in terms of what it exactly is that you're aiming for. Although I'd still, at that point in time, definitely recommend hiring a coach or mentor to help you map out your next steps. But in terms of the actual execution and implementation of things, you're probably doing the bulk of that. As you grow, and in order to grow, you need to be able to let go of some things. You need to be able to outsource and delegate the tasks that technically someone else could do. Why that's so important is because if you are still the one doing all your admin, doing the invoicing, setting up the technical systems and processes, then you are taking valuable time away from the activities that only you as the leader in your business can do. If you are not the one who's creating new products, new services, who is investing in developing your business and doing client outreach and gaining more exposure and thinking about the strategy and the future of your business, then who is? As the leader and CEO of your business, you need to be doing the activities that only you can do, because they're the ones that are going to grow and drive your business forwards. So as you get bigger, as you scale, so super important to be hiring the right people into your team to take over some of those day-to-day admin tasks that are just not really necessary for you to be spending your precious time and energy on. Now, it can be an interesting experience hiring the right people for your team, and there's going to be some trial and error and test and learn there as well. But once you've got the people in your team that just work like clockwork and who are a great fit and who totally buy into the vision you have for your business, then everything is magic, because there are things that are just done without you having to really think about it. You're just briefing them in, and the next morning you wake up and there it is. And you haven't had to invest any effort or energy into that. And I also hire some people who are in different time zones, which means literally while I sleep, there are people working on my business, and there is no greater feeling than that. So be prepared to let go of some things. And it can be challenging because you can think, oh, no one can do it as well as me. But that's going to come down to you as well in terms of how well you can train and enable others to take the reins. And it's in your interest, in your business interest, to do that, because you want to spend your time on your clients. You want to spend your time on your programs and services. You want to spend your time on building your brand. Strategy number 6 is knowing when to start over and being prepared to sometimes scrap things and literally start afresh. Now, in some extreme cases, that might mean literally changing the entire way you do your business or what business you're in or who you work with. And I've seen fellow entrepreneurs literally start from scratch and move from health coaching to business coaching or career coaching to well-being coaching. And that's perfectly fine. And obviously, if that suits you better, then that's absolutely the right decision. But it's being prepared to do that, because we can stay stuck for a long periods of time, carrying on, because we're worried that we've come so far already, or we've already invested so much time in this. But ultimately, you're not really going to move forwards, and you're not going to reach the levels of success that you could if you're flogging a dead horse. Now, as I said, that can be for the bigger things. Equally, it can be on some of the smaller things. You know, if an opt-in is not working in terms of attracting your dream clients, or if your email sequence is not moving someone from potential prospect to paying client, then you need to be prepared to revisit and tweak and adjust. And I held on personally to an opt-in that wasn't really serving me for ages because I knew it was great content and I'd spent a lot of time developing and creating it. And there was a part of me that was just like, oh, what a waste of time to have to redo it. But the second that I finally put my new opt-in out there, that I'd done a bit more research around, that I knew was going to really resonate with my ideal clients, everything changed. Like the results were staggeringly different. I went from 20 to 30% open rates on emails to up to 87% for my new opt-in. And when I did a 5-day challenge, I was getting over 60% open rates every single day of that challenge because it worked. It resonated. It was the right message and the right content with the right audience. And as I said, we learn through experience. So really knowing what does work and what doesn't work and being prepared to make adjustments and tweak along the way, absolutely essential, because it's going to improve your processes, it's going to improve your systems, and it's going to improve your chances of converting paying clients into your programs. So take that step back, review things if they're not working as well as you thought they would, and be prepared to make some changes, try something new. Because as I said right at the beginning, we don't know what works until we do it. And that leads me on to my final strategy. Number 7 is be prepared to receive feedback. A lot of people shy away from feedback and they seem to think it's a negative experience or it's an embarrassing experience. And we can have a tendency to ignore it, sweep it under the carpet, kind of pretend it hasn't happened. But when we do that, we're actually denying ourselves the hugely valuable insights and lessons that can come from receiving feedback. And in the spirit of continuously improving your products, your services, your business, yourself, it is golden to receive feedback on a perspective that could help us do things differently or do things better. So feedback truly is a gift, if we choose to see it that way. And it really does come down to how we choose to respond to feedback. Now, this isn't necessarily suggesting that you should take every single piece of commentary on board, especially if it doesn't feel particularly constructive. But it is about being prepared to swallow your pride, take a step back and ask yourself, is there some truth in this? Is there something here that I can learn? Is there something here I can take from this experience to make some changes that are going to get me a better outcome? And if someone has taken the time to share that feedback with you, then engage with them. Seek to really understand what is at the root cause of the feedback they're sharing. And if you know that they were thinking about joining a program but then didn't, ask them, what was it that meant you didn't, join us? What was the disconnect? What was it that held you back? Because that is vital, vital feedback and insight for you to make those changes to ensure that next time they do sign up. So not only do you want to be open to receiving feedback, ideally you want to be reaching out and asking for it constantly to do that research and that check-in with your audience and your community to know what's working and what doesn't. So there's the 7 strategies. To summarize, know the art of deprioritizing. Be prepared to take some risks. Work on yourself consistently, continuously as a daily practice. And before, invest in yourself and in your business. Stop staying stuck when there are others around that can help make things easier for you and ultimately help take your business to the next level of growth. Number 5 is being prepared to outsource and delegate, recognizing that there's only so much time and energy you have available. You want to spend it on the things that only you as the leader of your business can do. Number 6 is be prepared to start over. When things aren't working, it's time to try something new. And number 7, be open to receiving and taking valuable feedback that can help you improve your services, even if it means swallowing your pride. So I really hope that those strategies have helped. I would love to hear your comments and your feedback. I'd love to understand what really resonates and which of these are you going to start putting into action that you think could make the biggest difference. And just remember that sometimes it is the smallest shifts that can have the biggest impact. So it's really just about taking some of these learnings and insights and trying one new thing to see what the result could be for you. Now, if you are looking for some more dedicated support and you would like to know more about coaching, then you can book a free clarity call with me, and we'll together look at where you are at in your business, where you ideally want to be, and ultimately what the gap is. So together you'll have my eyes on your business as well, and I'll give you some personalized recommendations in terms of what I think you should be focusing on to get to where you want to be. And we can chat through how my coaching programs work and see if they're a fit for you. So if that's something that you know you'd like support with in order to get to that next level in your business, and you're recognizing you don't want to do it all by yourself, don't hesitate, reach out and book a call. There are limited slots available in my diary, and I look forward to connecting with you. So thank you so much, and speak to you soon.